The Celtics are done. RIP 2025 Boston Celtics. The title defense, we hardly knew ye. It's over. Down 2-0, both games at home, and you blew 20-point leads in the third quarter of each of them to a lesser team. I don't understand this I'll call it blind confidence at this point for Celtics fans. I know they won the title last year, but they didn't face any kind of adversity like this. They didn't completely blow 2 games in a row. And they're halfway to being swept, and fans are like, oh yeah, Celtics in 6. What has this series shown you that you would think Celtics in 6? What have they shown you in these 2 games against the Knicks that would make you so confident they're going to win 4 games in a row? No lead is safe. Man, what's gonna feel good? A 15-point lead, a 20-point lead, a 40-point lead? Like 20-point lead in the NBA, that's nothing. And you blow it one time, God, that sucks. You blow it 2 nights in a row in that fashion, you're done. It's over. Cut the shit. I had this feeling in this game last night. Third quarter, they're leading the whole game, but it was a modest lead. Third quarter, they get up to 20, and I'm like, all right, here we go again. Let's see what this team's made out of. Like, let's not make this interesting. Let's continue with the game plan. Let's continue to hunt the mismatches and go to the basket. And bam, 8-0 run. It's a 12-point game by the time they get to the fourth quarter, and you could feel it in that building. You could feel it over the broadcast. The fans, the groans are coming through. There's a nervous energy in the stands. There's a nervous energy from the players. Their body language sucks. The Knicks are all fired up, and you know it's going to happen again. And what happened? The same fucking thing. 17 points in the fourth quarter. You're outscored by 13. The Knicks at one point it's a 21-2 run. I believe they end it on a 24-6 run. End the game on that. Which one's the defending champs? Which one's been here and done that? Which one has the top 5 player in the NBA? Which one has the super team? Because you could have fooled me. I've been watching this team for 20 years, and this is in the top 5, maybe even the top 3 of most embarrassing losses they've ever had. Certainly the most dejected I felt after a Celtics game in a long time. This feels like Miami 2 years ago when they fell down 3-0. They didn't blow back-to-back 20-point leads. They didn't close out games, but they didn't blow back-to-back 20-point leads. I know the NBA is a different animal, but I'm sorry. You're going to tell me the defending champs get back-to-back home games where they're up 20 in the third quarter, and they're not going to win one of those games? Give me a fucking break, man. And what did I say on the show the other day? I said, yeah, they're probably not going to shoot 25% again from 3, but A, it's the playoffs. They still could. And B, you're punting a game in the playoffs. It was a really bad night for the Celtics aren't going to shoot 25% from 3 again crowd because they go, let's see, 10 for 40. Pretty easy Rockland High math here. 25% again. They can't do anything else right now, which is so bizarro because they have been able to do other things other than shoot threes this season and last season. And instead, it's just the same old crap, the same old brain-dead offense in the third and fourth quarter, and the same old Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum not showing up in the second half. 2 games in a row in the postseason for the defending champs. It's a really bad night for the Jason Tatum is a top 5 NBA player crowd, of which I am very much a part of. And it was an even worse night for the crowd who thinks Jaylen Brown's the actual superstar of this team. That dude was in quicksand the whole night, just slow motion. He had more turnovers than field goal attempts in the third quarter when it all starts crumbling down. Again, Jaylen Brown is a spearhead of that, but Jason Tatum absolutely has his spot right at the top of that. And how about this for the medal of the defending champs? How about this for the guys who are coached by, Joe Mazzulla, who's saying, oh yeah, I want the target right on my head. I want more blood. Yeah, have those lines, have they worn down now? Are we seeing through all that bullshit now? Because here's the defending champs with the game on the line, 2 games in a row. In the final possession, 2 games in a row, they totaled to put up 0 fucking shots. They can't even put a shot up. They try to get it to Jaylen Brown in game 1. Mikal Bridges rips the ball away from him. Here's Jason Tatum dribbling to nowhere and throwing it to fucking no one. This team is done. It's toast. It is cooked. I don't know how you can watch this team in clutch time in the last 2 games and say, yeah, Celtics in 6. Bullshit, man. Bullshit. And that last possession was a disaster, an absolute meltdown, much like the one I'm having right now. And you get the ball with 12 seconds left. And knowing how bad your final possessions were in regulation and in overtime in game 1, Joe Mazzulla decides to not call a timeout. And Jason Tatum, again, dribbles it to nowhere and throws it to nobody. He's about to lose the handle with about 5 seconds left. That's probably a second chance to call a timeout if you're Joe Mazzulla, but he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. And I just kind of ironically put it out on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, well, after blowing another lead and with how hot Jason Tatum has been in this second half, I think you just got to let him play and live with the results. That's the best move, right? Mazzulla's getting dragged today for not calling a timeout, which he should be. I mean, this is back to 2023, Joe Mazzulla. Remember, that was always the problem. He didn't call timeouts, didn't settle his team down, and these things ballooned and, it avalanched on them. He does the same thing in game 2, but he did have an explanation. Here's Joe Mazzulla on why he didn't call a timeout with 12 seconds left in regulation with the chance for the Celtics to win the game.
Process with not calling timeout there with 12 seconds left.
Had one left, got a good look on the exact same play 20 seconds earlier, tried to execute the exact same thing. They did a better job of their lower pickup point, and we weren't able to get the advantage that we had on the last Tatum dunk. So good full court setting. They subbed out Towns, weren't able to sub out Brunson, had action there, and we just didn't execute.
Oh, I got it. That's refreshing. He didn't call a timeout because he was going to run the same play they just ran 20 seconds earlier. He just expected a playoff team coached by Tom Thibodeau to just allow you to do the same thing 2 possessions in a row. Oh, okay. That makes me feel better about Joe Mazzulla's coaching acumen. That makes me feel better about the last few minutes of that game. Yeah, of course. Wouldn't we all try the same fucking play again? That's going to work. If they're going to cut off anything, it's surely not going to be the play that we just ran that went for an uncontested dunk. Certainly they're going to let us do that again. I mean, at that point, don't even say anything. Just say, hey, we trusted our guys. It's a shit excuse, but it's better than saying, yeah, I expected them to give us a dunk 2 plays in a row. I expected the Red Sea to part and for us to just take a dunk 2 plays in a row. And I'm not trying to take blame off of Tatum. That's a shit last possession and last shot, pass, whatever the hell that was. But if you look at the play, there are 4 other guys just doing nothing. Nobody trying to get open. Clearly that play was just to give space to Tatum. They don't get the space. Again, with plenty of time. This is not 4 seconds. This is 12 seconds. And nobody at that point just pops out for a 3 or cuts to the basket. Nobody. They just watch Tatum go to nowhere. And it's tough to defend Tatum again after this night because that was brutal. That was brutal, and they can't free up either of their stars for shots in the final seconds of games. And let's be honest, their stars have not shown up. Nobody for the Celtics has played particularly well in this series. Derek White played well in game 1. He goes 3 for 11 from 3 in game 2. Nobody has played well. But your max guys, your guys making $50 million a year, just absolutely punting it in the second half of these games is beyond embarrassing. And that is the number one word for this series so far. embarrassing. And the Knicks are dancing on your grave. The fucking Knicks. Nobody, not even Stephen A was picking them. And now he's a pig in shit on ESPN every morning. Jalen Brunson has not even been dominant. Karl Anthony Towns, he's been good in spurts. But you guys have sucked. Al Horford, normally very dependable, sucked. Drew Holiday, step back. Derek White, stunk. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, no alibi. UGLY. And yet I've got all these fucking green teamers being like, Celtics in 6. How dare you doubt this team? How dare you doubt this coach? How dare you doubt these superstars? So what? They've lost back-to-back games to an inferior team at home, but giving up a 20-point lead in both of them. So what? No, they'll just get it together. What part of this series has shown you they're going to get it together? Jaylen Brown's had one good game in this postseason. One. Kristaps Porzingis, Lord only knows what's up with him. It's in the Lord's hands. Nobody knows. We have zero explanation, but he hit a couple of shots last night, but again, gives you nothing. Sam Hauser didn't dress, but did about just as much as he's done in the other postseason games this year. Peyton Pritchard, Drew Holiday, here and there. Like, nobody has been good in this series. And that's where it feels a lot like the Miami one of 2 years ago. After 15 minutes of talking, I'm almost at a loss for words there. Like, I thought as sure as the sun comes up in the morning, the Celtics were going to win game 2. And in fact, I would have bet that they would have won it by 20 plus points. Like that was set up for a classic Celtic get right beatdown, similar to that Philadelphia series 2 years ago, similar to that Milwaukee series 2 years ago. 3 years ago on that Milwaukee one. But here they are, man. This could be the end of it right here. This could be the end of their true championship window in this series right here in the second round after winning the title. I'd love to be more optimistic about it. I mean, you guys know I'm pretty fatalistic, but I'm not finding positives here. If they can shoot 25% from 3 2 games in a row, they sure as shit can do it 3 games in a row and probably 4. And if that's the kind of aggressiveness they're going to have or lack thereof, then they're going to continue to lose. And the screen grab of the game is the Celtics up. I want to say it was the Knicks had started their comeback. It was like 86-79 or so. And mind you, the Celtics scored 90 points for the game. And there's Jaylen Brown in the paint. His defender, I think it's Brunson, has fallen. And Jason Tatum is wide open in the corner for 3. But there's no one between him and the basket that's on their 2 feet. And he just jacks up a 3. Bricks it, of course. He's one of the worst 3-point shooters on the team. And for as great a player as he is offensively, he's not a good 3-point shooter. Not an elite 3-point shooter anyway. And he's been dog shit in this postseason. And you look at the starters for this team last night. Tatum, 1 of 5 from 3. Brown, 2 of 7. Horford, 0 of 5. Holiday, 0 for 2. White, 3 for 11. And you extend to the bench. Pritchard, 3 for 9. Like, can somebody give me something? Can somebody give me hope for the Celtics team? Everybody's playing like shit, and they've blown back-to-back 20-point leads. The first team in NBA history to do that in the playoffs. And yet, I've got all these people shoving it down my throat. Celtics in 6. Don't worry, they'll turn it around. They'll win 4 in a row. Give me a break with that, man. They're literally out here setting NBA records for choking. Like, they are the biggest chokers in the NBA right now. And boy, I was really hoping Oklahoma City would throw us a bone and lose again. And 3 of the 4 series would have been down 2-0 after 2 home games. But no, I mean, the Thunder were up like fucking 50 points at halftime because that's what good teams do. That's what teams with fucking balls do. They blow out the other team when they're at home in game 2 when they need to win. The Celtics don't have any balls. They have been chemically castrated. They're done. It's over. It was a hell of a run last year. It was a lot of fun, but this thing is done. And I'm not calling for Joe Mazzulla to be fired, but for those throwing out and lobbing up that criticism today, how can you argue with them? He has been thoroughly outcoached by a coach who's been washed for a decade. And he's been outcoached. Oh, but don't worry. They'll just go to New York. They'll win the next 2. They'll win it in 6. Sure they will. Sure they will. Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that. I think this is over. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. It helps me keep my job. Check out the other videos around the channel going on about the Celtics and everything else going on in Boston sports. We are live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time every weekday. And then we're available wherever you get your podcasts. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week.